Hello everyone, this is Romario with a new Premodern video. And as always, if you like Legacy, if you like Premodern, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave your comments below. For this week, I have something that I think it's really cool. I was looking for something aggro to play this week. I found a couple of combo decks, but I'm gonna save them for the next league. But for this week, I really wanted to try to play something different, and so I was looking around. I had some lists in my account that I was working on, but none of them like really felt like they were good. And so I was looking at some Merfolk lists, some Counter Rebels. I was looking at some Minotauros. Didgeridoo is a card that I've been trying to maybe make it work in Premodern. And then I was like, well, one of my friends, he likes to play a lot of slivers in paper, and I was like, all right, let's see if there's a slivers list that that I like in Premodern. He doesn't really play slivers in Premodern. He plays in Legacy. But I was like, no, maybe I'll find a list that he likes it. And I ended up coming across this list. So it's not a list that I built at all. I just copy and paste this one. I didn't felt comfortable like making any changes to make it better. So I found this list. It was from a league that was in Madrid. I think the player's name was Carlos Pialago. So it kind of surprised me because if you look up like slivers lists on for Premodern, you find a bunch of 5-color crystalline sliver. I forgot the name of the blue black one. I think it's hibernation sliver. Sometimes you see like a spicy list playing like a sliver queen, something like that. But I didn't see any list that looked like this. And so this is basically like a red green aggro deck. Spined Sliver has seen some play in red green aggro decks with Grim Lavamancer and Jackal Pup. Sometimes you have Call of the Herd, that sort of stuff. But this list, it's a slivers list that plays an aggro plan. So we're only playing the green red slivers. And actually went on Scryfall to look at the other options. And the only other sliver that maybe would make sense is the one that gives trample. It's another 3-drop. It's similar to Blade Sliver, but it's green, so it's like 1 green, 2 slivers have trample. But other than that, I think this is kind of like the best configuration you can have for your slivers. The deck is running 22 lands, so that is pretty normal for an aggro deck, kind of like a low land count. Actually, if you weren't running Treetop Villages, I feel like 20 could have been okay. But we are also running Curse of Scrolls, so maybe 22 is the correct number, anyways. But yeah, pretty straightforward. 7 fetches. Wooded Foothills, of course, the better one because it can fetch the 2 colors that we're playing. 4 Karplusan Forest, again, just mana fixing. There's a Mossfire Valley that also comes up. I play a couple of practice games, and Mossfire Valley did come up a few times. It casts both Heart Sliver and Muscle Sliver. I also cast the Spined Sliver. That's all your creatures that you care about. The number of basics, that's arguably forests are a little better because you want to activate Treetop Village, and most of your creatures are green. The ones you're casting early in the game. And then we have the 3 Treetop Villages, which it was at first was weird for me to see 3, not 4. But some of the matches I was playing, having Treetop Village in your opening hand is kind of a liability. So I think 3 is probably the correct number. You don't want to draw on your opening hand. Really, you don't want to draw until turn 3. You want to cast all your slivers first before you start playing Treetop Villages and Curse of Scrolls. So 3 made sense. And then for the creatures, we have 4 of each, except for the Blade Sliver, because that one does cost a little bit more. So Metallic Sliver is probably one of the better turn 1s you can have with this deck. Then we have the 4 Heart Slivers, the one that gives haste to your creatures. Muscle Sliver is the classic. I think that's... As a matter of fact, I think when I think of slivers, I played this format when it was in Standard. When I think of slivers, I think of Muscle Sliver and Crystalline Sliver. Those are usually the 2 that come to my mind. So yeah, Muscle Sliver is probably the best one we have, and it still has that template that says all slivers get +1/+1. So it's not the new Lord style of card, right? I think if this card was printed in 2025, it would have been a 2/2 that says other slivers get +1/+1, but this one just says all slivers get +1/+1, so it included itself. And then we have 4 copies of Spined Sliver, which again, it's a card that people have been more familiar now, because even though it's a sliver, it has seen play in decks that don't have the slivers archetype attached to it. It's usually just a generic red-green 2/2 creature that's kind of hard to block. So yeah, it's just a sliver that says whenever a sliver becomes blocked, that sliver gets +1/+1 to the end of the turn for each creature blocking it. So pretty good at not getting blocked, because if you have a Muscle Sliver plus this, in Premodern, creatures tend to be kind of small. 3/3 elephant's like a big creature for a lot of decks. So just kind of like a hard creature for other creature decks to block, right? And remembering that also in slivers, the abilities stack, right? So if you have multiple copies of Spine Sliver, that also stack. Then we have the 3 copies of Blade Sliver, which is another kind of a lord, right? Lord, it gives +1 in attack to all slivers, including itself. Then we have I guess we'll call it the removal package. We have like 4 lightning bolts and 4 incinerates. There's also like 2 copies of Curse's Scroll. Also, again, just cards that give you like a little bit of reach. Rancor, pretty awesome way to just get damage through. Again, we're not playing the slivers that gives trample, but we do have a card that gives trample to one of our creatures. And again, Rancor plus a Spine Sliver, Muscle Sliver. It makes it. The point of the idea of the deck is just to keep pushing damage through, right? And then eventually we can reduce your opponent's life to 0 by Lightning Bolt, Incinerate, or Curse's Scroll. Then there's 3 copies of Naturalize in the main deck. I really like that. We know that Premodern has tons of very good enchantments and artifacts, so having a way to deal with those cards like in the main deck, it's always pretty good. Then 2 copies of Sylvan Library. That one, I'm not really sure, but I guess any of the slower blue decks, I think that card is super relevant. Not very good against anything that's faster than what we're trying to do, but it's generally speaking, it's a good card, right? I really like Sylvan Library. So yeah, don't hate it being in the main deck. Looking at the sideboard, one thing I noticed first is a lot of 3s, and it kind of maps out well with the main deck. So we have 3 copies of Overload. I want to say that's primarily because of Phyrexian Dreadnought being such a good card in the format. So this is 1 mana, deal with Phyrexian Dreadnought. It's also pretty good against things like Powder Keg, which can be a problem for this type of deck. All our creatures cost. All the relevant creatures cost 2 mana. So being able to deal with a Powder Keg, super relevant. 3 copies of Pyroblast. Again, I think Premodern currently is not super blue, but blue is still a very prevalent color in the format. So having Pyroblast, and again, we're playing red. Any red deck that has the mana base that can support Pyroblast should definitely cast it. Have it. 3 copies of Pyrokinesis. Pretty good against any of the smaller creature decks. We got goblins, elves, etc. Even if you play against the Sliver Mirror. Then 1 more copy of Naturalize. If you really want to destroy some enchantments and artifacts to complement the other 3 that we have in the main deck. 2 Tranquil Domain. So Tranquil Domain and Naturalizes. They could be relevant against things like Engineer Plague, or I think Tranquil Domain is also really good against Enchantress, which is a deck that just thinking about it, it's probably very difficult for this deck to deal with unless we have a Tranquil Domain. There is a little bit of tension with Tranquil Domain and Sylvan Library, though. Just got to keep that in mind, because this will destroy your own Sylvan Library. And then 3 copies of Phyrexian Furnace, which, again, is a card that some people like Thermal Script, some people like Phyrexian Furnace. I think Phyrexian Furnace is cool. And just the fact that you can always at least cycle it and not never a dead card, really. And this art is just, I don't know, puzzling. Yeah, so I have pretty not high hopes, but I think the deck's really cool. And I think it's probably very good, and I'm sure I'll win some matches with this deck. It's a different experience for me, as far as playing an aggro deck. We're not playing Sly, which is Sly sometimes can feel like a combo deck, right? You just casting spells to reduce your opponent to 0 life total. This one actually involves like some sequencing and math and attacking and blocking, which is I don't know, it's not something that I haven't been doing like very much in Magic in general. But yeah, pretty excited to play this deck again. This is a deck that I found on MTG Top 8. I was looking for I guess nowadays you have to say type of deck with some creatures of the same type. And I was pretty surprised to find this one. I was, when you look at slivers, like I said, maybe I'm just repeating myself now. I'm used to see some, reflecting pools and City of Brass and Undiscovered Paradise and creatures of every color in your deck. And when I saw that this one was like a more straightforward red-green aggro, I was like, I'm going to try this. And it seemed pretty fun. So with that being said, we're gonna start playing round one, and we'll see how this league goes. All right, so we're here for round one on our opponent, and how this goes. I haven't played like a pure aggro deck in a while in Premodern, so we'll be on the play, and I think this is fine. The question is, do I want to play a tapped luck? I want to play a turn one versus scroll, or just play a tapped Treetop Village. I'm gonna play the Curse of Scroll because I'm not gonna be activating Treetop Village anytime soon. And if Curse of Scroll gets discarded, that'll be pretty terrible. Okay, we're playing against one of those decks. Treetop Village can be a little awkward here, but I'm almost tempted. I think I should always try to maximize my damage when I'm playing a control. Can't say it, an aggro deck. I think in the past I would have like played the Treetop Village tapped and play Metallic Sliver, but I think I should always try to get some damage in. Ravenous Rat. All right, I guess we'll try to Naturalize. Yeah, this turned out to be way better than I thought it was going to be. There was a way for me to give them trample. They're 15 life. I do play a good number of burn spells in this deck. I think there's, there's off the top of my head. I think I got 4 bolts and 4 incinerates in the list. Yeah, name is Slivers, but it should be like red green aggro. Yeah, it's 4 bolts and 4 incinerates. And we also have the Rancors too that can be relevant. All right, so we got Bottomless Pit here. If you're not going to block, might as well attack, right? And okay, so this is going to get discarded anyways. I'm just going to attack. They block. They take 2. My clock's not very fast without a Muscle Sliver. I think I'm just gonna burn them. Them at 10. And nothing to be discarded. Take 3. Oh, that's a good one. But let me see. They take 4 here, unless they have a removal spell. Okay. I could kill that before they block, or I can just curse a scroll. Oh, I should. No, hold on, hold on. I need to kill it. Hold on a sec. That was a mistake. No, that was a mistake. I forgot that this thing is not in play anymore. Okay, that was. I'm gonna miss out on a point of damage. Or I could also just curse a scroll. They tap it before they can block. Yeah. Okay. I could have done this 2 different ways. And both of those ways would have been better than what I did. Okay. Well, at least I know now. If the game is over and they're at 1 life, I know what went wrong. Or I guess possible again if I just take the other line and then try to curse the scroll, they tap it, they take 2. And then on my turn I can cast a lightning bolt on them. Yeah, I'm not really sure which one was the correct way to do it, but definitely not the way I did it. So if you're watching and you're trying to play this deck better, sometimes don't do the way I do it. I'm basically doing this so you don't have to do it. One is deep in the tank. All right, while they do that, let me take a look at what I got for them here. I guess I can bring the overloads. I'm gonna pox me. Okay. Choose 1 permanent sacrifice. I guess I'm gonna sacrifice this. And then I'm gonna sacrifice 1 land. I guess I'll do a basic forest. Okay. My box wasn't that great, I guess. But I am gonna lose 3 life here, so. Oh, almost. Yeah, I think I'm just dead, right? Because they're gonna deal 3 damage on my turn. Ooh. 6 damage, not 3. All right. All right. So what do I got for them? I think. Yeah, I think I want the overloads instead of Naturalize. I think the enchantments are okay-ish. I think I'm more worried about the artifacts that they're gonna bring. I mean, it could have Engineer Plague. I mean, they saw slivers. So maybe I can cut some of the Metallic Sliver and bring the Naturalizes. Yeah, I think Metallic Sliver is like the worst one I have. Maybe we can just do half like Tranquil Domain and yeah, something like this. I definitely have to have Overload because I think the way I lose this game is to either Curse a Scroll or the Rack and possibly Mishra's Factory too. So the spell that can deal damage and neutralize their threat. It's pretty good. All right, I'm gonna keep this one. In this case, I will play the Treetop Village first. I don't really have a. I don't think I'm gonna bolt them on turn one. Maybe I should. This is kind of a race, right? Right. They're not gonna name Sylvan Library, right? Muscle Sliver. Right? That's a good one to name. That is definitely a good one. Oh man. But I have to cast the Sylvan Library, I think. When they flash back, they're definitely gonna name this guy. Unless they name Lightning Bolt, and if I play rats, I'm gonna discard the the Sylvan Library because two of them don't really do a whole lot here. um, you can put this on top. I don't think I want to keep trying the same cards. I'm a little vulnerable here to a Engineered Plague. Yeah. But I can attack with Treetop Village next turn. This can go on top then. They're at 13. It's gonna have to hope the whole hand is just like discard spells. Press a scroll. Right on time for my the other thing. Alright, so I think I'm gonna bolt this guy. The kicker is 2, right? Dang. Alright, I'm gonna pay 4. Go ahead. Do some damage this turn. Is that correct? I did do 2 damage, right? Or did I miss something? Manavat is 2 or less. See this right here. If its Manavat is 5 or less instead. Okay. Oh, never mind. I thought this was the one that does damage. Alright, so let's read my cards first. That was not very efficient. I could attack for 3 more. Okay. Well, I can always kill the Mistress Factor next turn. Smallpox. Okay. These. Well, no, I think it has to be like this. And just hope to draw a forest. A Muscle Sliver. Okay, that's when I get punished for playing Tranquil Domain instead of the other thing, the Naturalize. The Mishra's Factory. All right, so they have no cards in hand. I basically I'm gonna get time walked here. Oof, rough. So funny Magic Online because you can actually say yes for the Sylvan Library ability because I do have 4 life, and it only happens in this case when you have exact 4 life. It allows you to pay for life and die. Uh, if I had 2 life or no less than 4, I wouldn't be able to do it. But I just think it's kind of funny because one time I accidentally clicked yes, and yeah, the game was over. And you can't like hit undo either. Like most times you can do it. You're playing a Magic Online and came across this situation. Be careful. Don't hit yes for keeping extra cards because I believe fetch lands and ancient tomb, Sylvan Library effects like that. As soon as your life total goes to 0, uh, that's it. Like just can't fix that. So I guess you're. I was trying to protect the Muscle Sliver from getting discarded, but there might have been a mistake. Didn't find a land here. Did not find a land. So I think the game is over then, right? Because this thing deals 1 damage to each creature, each player. Yeah, I think the game's just over. Because I can. I kill this. I still have to deal with the Plague Spitter. Right, and I think that means I just don't have any. I don't think I have any outs. Oh, yeah. Right, because I'll take 1 damage. All right, cool. So that was round 1. Oops. So I don't know if like I have like really my sideboarding here would be to just play like an aggro deck and what I tried to do. Uh Definitely made a mistake by not having Naturalize instead of Tranquil Domain. I just thought it was sometimes those decks will run things like Dystopia and Engineer Plague is something they expected in the bottomless pit. So I felt like maybe Tranquil Domain will catch both of them instead of have to point Naturalize on 1 enchantment at a time. But obviously I got punished there because I had Sylvan Library on my side of the board. And definitely a little. I completely forgot that Overload is not. I thought there was another card that when you pay the kicker, it deals damage to the opponent too, and I blanked there for a second, so I apologize for that. But yeah, that was round 1. We'll see how round 2 goes. Well played opponent, and yeah, we'll see. Maybe we can still end this league with a good record. All right, so we're here for round 2. Premodern. Echo. Did I read it correctly? All right, looks like I'll be on the draw. Yeah, this seems alright, I guess. And like I said, like in the intro, like this is one thing with the like playing slivers. all of them are like definitely a deck that sort of tries to go wide, but without having things like other vial in the format to like cheat on mana. Kind of hard, but I think this green red version might be probably one of the closest ones you can actually build with this deck and still be able to be like a functional deck. I've seen some like 5 color lists, and I think it's just really hard for you to dodge all the removal, counter magic, and sweepers. But like you don't have any tutoring effects or again like anything, any card that cheats on mana, like we have in other formats, like with the vial or goblins, for instance. They have chieftain, which kind of makes you be able to pay a little less for your goblins, and you can search for those goblins you want with Goblin Matron. I think it's Spined Sliver here. And if they put a counter on this thing, then you can't really block it. I mean, I guess it can, but I can just play another Spined Sliver. Maybe some kind of survival with this deck, right? Oh, it could be a Lauren. Okay. All right. If I draw a land, would be pretty sweet here. What do I want to do? I think I just want to play Heart Sliver. All right, so we're going to take 1 point of damage. Yeah, and definitely need to draw. Hopefully I can draw a land next turn. It's another red land. Another mountain, right? Oh, call therapy. It's not good in my hand. There's a bunch of doubles. I kind of have to hope that they missed the first one. I mean, they could name like another Spine Sliver because they're looking at one. I feel like they're probably going to name something like Muscle Sliver. Or they might just be about to combo, right? They can just name whatever and then play a Lauren. Yeah. I guess people just like to name Muscle Sliver. It is a more I think the most iconic of the first slivers that came out. I always remember the Crystalline Sliver because it's pain in the ass, like if you're playing a deck that's trying to play removal. Next here, I want to do something. Blade Sliver. Okay. Huh. Interesting. They went for that guy. All right. So let's do this. I need to be able to push some damage through. Again, I guess if I draw in next turn, then I can bolt the bird and play the second Spined Sliver. I just hope that they just cast Squee here and pass. Oh, Massacre. Okay. Just get a mountain. And if I'm not mistaken, the sliver abilities they stack. So for instance, if they try to block this one, they'll kill the wall of roots because then they'll get +2. So if I kill the bird, I can only ping one thing. So I think I'm gonna kill the bird. I mean, they can use on wall of roots, but then kind of ties the mana up every turn. Oh, wall of blossom. Meh. All right, I would not mind drawing the Naturalize now. As I said, they could do this right now. I think it's this guy. Block, block. I think there's 6. They can kill. I guess Muscle Sliver. I mean, they still have blockers too, so it's kind of hard to get through. I feel like at this point, like no. Let's hope to draw Incinerate, Lightning Bolt, or double Incinerate. Curse of Scroll will also be kind of good, I think. Okay, so they can't kill these guys now. All right, this is actually pretty good because now some damage should go through. What, did I just skip my attack phase? Okay. I don't know what happened there. All right. All right, easy. Have to have Incinerate and Bolt on top of my deck. Unfortunately, we don't play blue, so I don't have the slivers that makes everything fly. All right, so I'm gonna pay 4 because I don't want to see that again. Makes the skipping the attack phase there like feel even worse now because I think this would have been lethal. If they block, they take 1 point of damage. Thanks to Rancor being a homie. All right, I'm just gonna fetch because I'm not gonna draw the cards on top of my deck, and I'm hellbent. Probably the Nantuko guy that destroys enchantments. Hmm. Well, that's a sliver. Um, if I, if I attack, they just block here. They take, but I take 2 damage. They go to 3. Now I take 3 damage. Yeah, because trample and all right. Equip this guy. I just need to draw again. Incinerate off the top. Bolt. Um, we I guess Muscle Sliver. All right, Incinerate. All right, let's try not to skip the attack phase again. I mean, I think. Let's see. This guy, he feels the worst to me. So I have so 1, 2, 3, 4. But the only one's only 3 cops, so it's 8, 12, 15 creatures. It feels bad to side out this guy, but I don't think it's very good though. Kind of want to have a Naturalize because for sure they are a Survival the Fittest deck, and then Phyrexian Furnace maybe. I was thinking Pyrokinesis, but I don't. Those decks don't necessarily have to play like a bunch of small creatures. A lot of times they just have walls, right? So and that's what I was thinking. Like the 1/1 Sliver doesn't really do a whole lot. I think this hand is okay. I think that's the only advantage of having the 1/1 Sliver, right? It gives me a turn 1 play. What's that guy's name again? The Metallic Sliver? Yeah. Alright. Guess I guess we're supposed to do, right? So Spined Sliver deals more damage next turn, right? Reflecting Pool. No, survival the fittest. Alright, so if I draw a land, I have to make a decision here. If I don't draw a land, I think I just play Muscle Sliver. They are a little colored screwed there for a second, right? Oh, Anger. Okay, so they can play their Wall of Roots. Alright, can I draw a land? What is we here deck? Because I'm just gonna play Muscle Sliver. I'm gonna do this because if they want to block and activate Wall of Roots, then Wall of Roots will just die. Because it will have 4 damage on it, so I don't know how much it matters. But if they want to activate, then I need a 3 mana sliver that gives trample to my slivers. Oh, it's a lot of mana now, opponents. What you gonna do? They have Green Lava Mancer in the deck too. Oh, that's interesting. I don't think I've seen that in slivers. I mean, in survival decks. Baloth. Okay. So if I attack with this, it will be a 4/4. This guy would be a 5/5. So I'm gonna go with this one. Interesting that they didn't search for squee. I don't know what that means. And I really just want to draw another land. Alright, they're gonna play something big here. Hermit Druid. Okay. Hmm. I only have blockers for days. Lightning Bolt. I'm pretty happy that they missed every time the first one. So I think Incinerate is a card that they should name here, but maybe I'm just wrong. They did it real quick, so they knew what they were gonna do, I guess, or they already made up their minds. I went for Rancor. Okay. I mean, it is a 2-for-1, so I don't know. Maybe that's correct. I think this guy or this would have been a little better, maybe. Replace Spined Sliver. All these guys would be 5/5s. This better, probably. When they block. Or when they get blocked. I was gonna say the plan here should probably be try to get them to like a low enough life total that I can kill them with burn, but they have a Bailoff, so it's a little harder. I think that's when the Rancors would have been good because yeah, if I draw a land here, then Rancor would get some damage too, but not a whole lot too. Right, so they have 4 creatures. I have 4 creatures. I think the Blade Sliver is not super relevant right now because I don't have trample, so attack with a 10/10. Oh, this is way better now. They do have a card in hand, so. And right now I'm looking for 12. I don't know if it's correct to use the Incinerate as a. You know what? I think it is because then they sack a creature too. So, guys, critter makes less mana. It was just a weird timing, but I should have probably done like no. My turn. All right. Yeah, because now Kratos makes 2 mana instead of 3. I don't know if it matters, but probably will matter. So now that I have Rancor, then Blade Sliver makes more sense too, because now it's be a 7/4 trampler, not just a big creature that doesn't do anything. And also, since they're 4 life, Blade Sliver also makes the any of my slivers connecting is lethal. I got Squee. Okay. Squee's gonna get be anything. They don't have a mountain in play, so that anger still doesn't really. Not very angry. Just mildly annoyed. All right, what are we gonna search up? Squeeze the last thing that they searched. Another Deranged Hermit. Okay. So they have to tap out for that, right? 3, 4, 5. Yeah. If I just attack with a team. I think it's better to hold up Incinerate here. I think they have to throw everything at this guy. This one will get +2, right? Okay. Yeah, I think so. If they, let's say, if they put the 2 other slivers, in front of this guy. Because when it becomes blocked, right? So it's not. I can go back to the game, but so it's when it becomes blocked. So it was an 8. So I think the play would have been to just bolt the. Yeah, because they had 5. Well, they had 3 plus 4, so 7 toughness to block 8. But if I bolt the hermit, then it just becomes 5. They take 3, so they go to 1. Okay. So I guess it would have gone to the next turn. All right, cool. So that was round 2. Interesting deck the opponent was playing. I'm a big fan of those 2 boxy decks. I've been watching some not watching, but seeing like more people playing survivals, the fittest decks that not traditional, no elves, no welder, tinker, no, not tinker, but like welder survival decks. But I've seen some other variations besides the rock version too. So it's always cool to see. This one had Grim Lavamancer and Spike Feeder. Yep. So that was round 2. We'll see how round 3 goes. All right, so we're back here for round 3. This is our opponent. All right, I'll be on the play. All right, so we got. Yeah, this seems alright. We got slivers. We got pump spells. Naturalize might be a mulligan, but I don't know. Still a lot of artifacts and enchantments in this format, right? I'm just gonna put the Bloodstained Mire. Notably, I don't have green mana yet, but fine. I'm gonna draw 1. I'm not gonna fetch because I kind of want to draw more lands. Ooh, another sliver. Could be in trouble here if I don't draw a forest. It could be replenished. All right. Yeah, that didn't work out the way I thought it was gonna work. Like for sure, I'm gonna draw a green source, right? Not too far behind now, I think. I have to hope my opponent. Oh, it tied. Like, uh, hmm. I think this guy can go. The one that costs more mana. I guess I'm there for 4 mana. And the whole deck is 4 drops. There could be anything. Noble Essence. Okay. I'm investing for 2. I think if they show me the other Parallax next turn. Oh man, I didn't draw any lands. So I I mean, showing the Muscle Sliver doesn't really, not really conceal any information by not casting that. They probably expect me to have that in the deck anyways. Alright, they got it now. Alright, so what do I got? Man, I got a lot of cards I want to bring in. So, Phyrexian Furnace. I guess I should bring the things that destroy enchantments. I also want the Pyroblast too. 9 cards. Alright, I think the Blade Sliver might be a bit too slow. Curse Scroll, this is not the matchup for Curse Scroll neither. Yeah, my first impulse is to just like Metallic Sliver, but maybe Incinerates, because Incinerates like, I think in other matchups is more of a removal spell, and we're not really trying to do any creatures here, right? It's more one of the few times I actually wanted the Metallic Sliver on turn 1. And I don't think I need to start activating Phyrexian Furnace on turn 1. That's a good draw. And start with the Muscle Sliver because it makes everything I draw after that better. I need to keep putting. Need to keep putting pressure. Frantic Search. I think I have this resolve. Next turn, what am I gonna do? I'll draw an untapped land. I think just play Phyrexian Furnace. And the creature, I guess. If they try to slam a tide here, I think I have to Pyroblast it. Tapping Ancient Tomb is one way I can win this game. I mean, not me, but you know, my opponent tapping their Ancient Tomb. Alright, so I'm gonna attack first. Treetop Village are very awkward in this game. Because if everything goes alright here, I'm threatening lethal, right? That's 6 plus Treetop Village, that's 9. Intuition. Do I care about intuition? I think I do. On my opponent too. I think I need to draw lightning bolt here. Well, they do take damage if they want to. If they tap Ancient Tomb, right? So they'll go to 4. Yeah, lightning bolt would be the best draw here. Frantic Search. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, because I mean, this is definitely a setup for a replenish. We're gonna go to 2. Okay. I just need to eat this thing. Rancor. That'd be pretty good. At a forest. And I need Tranquil Domain. The plus side, they can't tap Ancient Tomb. I think I'm going to be a little patient with this lightning bolt. And their mana is a little constrained right now. All right. All tied. 1-1. Yeah, let's consider like this again. Those are the only some of the difference sometimes, like having Tormod script or Phyrexian Furnace. Like, I'm usually a fan of cards that just like nuke the whole graveyard instead of one single card. The only difference that Tormod script, Phyrexian Furnace usually is not a dead card, right? Because worst case scenario, you can always cycle it. But there is that problem that sometimes you want to like remove multiple cards from your opponent's graveyard. Double's Web. Alright, so I'm going to start with a mountain, because if I do want to Pyroblast something, I can. You also mulligan to 5 in this game, right? I think, if I'm not mistaken. It's in a 2-inch. 100% I'm going to discard, counter this. Yeah. It makes sense they brought Stable's Web. They saw Treetop Villages and stuff, but this deck's not even playing the full set. I think I'm gonna, because I can probably just draw extra cards every turn. Sorry for the noise. I was just drinking my usual dose of espresso in the morning. You just have another tournament. Oh, Phoenix Art. Not very good, right? All right, so I'm gonna put this back, and I think I should need to. Yeah, sure. I got to take 4. I guess I can get another forest. Right. And I'm a little vulnerable for a turn here, but I gotta start attacking. Mana leak. Oh, intuition. Okay. And this could be bad. Maybe should have tried to play the control role better. Yeah. They're already at 12. You can just play the tide, I guess. I mean, wave. You gotta let them confused sometimes. All right. Oh, yeah, that's not great. Attack first. Okay. They're not gonna let me attack. Um if I play Muscle Sliver. Yeah, I have a plan here. So the awkward thing with Tranquil Domain is that my Sylvan Library go away too. Oh no, did I miss getting something from the graveyard? I don't think I did that. I guess I have to do it now. I have 6. Yeah, I have plenty of power on the board after this resolves. And I don't think this matters, but I guess I'll just do it for good habit. That's 8. Yep. And coincidentally, our opponent's at 8 life. The GG's. All right. I missed the attack step. Cool. All right. So kind of a scary matchup. there was a couple of turns there. They're like, no, if things had lined up a little differently, I could have got, but I think just how it is. So yeah, well played opponents. I think I think that this deck has like no these 6 ways to destroy enchantments post board. Phyrexian Furnace did some work there too. So all right, so currently 2-1. Let's see how round 4 goes. And so far playing red green slivers. All right, so we're back here for round 4 on the play. Let's take a look, have fun. And is a trap, so I am going to Malden. This seems a little better. Have to draw some creatures, I guess. And well, you know what? Maybe I should have gone mountain. Need to slow down sometimes. Ooh, okay. Second Curse's Crow is definitely not very good. I could play Treetop Village and Curse's Crow, or just play Mountain and destroy the Mind Stone. I think I'm gonna play Treetop Village and play second Curse's Crow. Like it kind of plays into Powder Keg, but I feel like I'm probably playing against some Tinker deck. And the reason I was playing the Curse's Crow so I can kind of empty my hand, to make Curse's Crow a little better. I like to have it. I can look at the game log. All right, so it is a Tinker. All right, so it's here. Oh, it's Sphere Resistance. Okay. I guess it's not. Well, I mean, they're probably still playing Tinker, but I was thinking it was more like a combo deck. All right, so we're gonna start attacking because their mana base is a little painful right now for them. And we do have a bolt in hand. It will be kind of hard for me to activate versus Pro and attack with Treetop Village, but I feel like his Naturalize is going to be very clutch here too. The good thing I have, the sideboard lines up well with their deck, I think. Overloads and extra Naturalize. And even the Pyroblast. I'll see how this game goes. Yeah, see, I don't even have to attack. They're already dealing damage to themselves. So, and I'm saying this because I also play a lot of this type of deck. And I know the casting things off of Ancient Tomb and Human Reef, just the damage adds up real fast. All right, so they're gonna tinker for I'm not sure what they get here. Make some like Karn, I guess, maybe. I think Smokestacks might be a little slow for Alter Dimension. Okay. Alright, so I'm not gonna cast anything. Because if they try to put Devour in the stack, I can kill Alter before that resolves, and then a nice 2-for-1 basically. And if they don't do anything, I can just Lightning Bolt them end of turn, put them at 7, and I get to untap and Get a Tinker. I go for it. Alright, I'm gonna kill this thing first. I'm gonna go to 4. I mean, sorry, there's 7. I can. Yes, I have to set my board. Alright, I was hoping to draw a land. The next turn, I can tap these 3 and have Treetop Village be almost lethal. Goblin Welder. I got it. Now, obviously, Goblin Welder. Very strong card. All right. Oh, so kind of worked out over here. I thought it was gonna work out at the end. So okay, I guess I want Naturalized and Overload. Um, hmm. Thinking what I don't want. Maybe Sylvan Library is a little low for this matchup. This Blade Sliver, I don't know, like at all. um, I think I want Incinerate again. They do take a lot of damage in their deck, and I think I want Pyroblast. The Pyroblast or Phyrexian Furnace that can stop the Goblin Welder shenanigans. Alright, I think I like this hand. If they have a Welder in turn 1, I can just bolted. I'm just gonna play this guy. And I think, well, it depends what I'm gonna draw, but powder keg. Alright. Hmm. I can keep tagging them for 2. Is that another powder keg or if the Pyroclasm? That would suck. Oh, Winter Orb. Okay. So they don't have any. Yeah, I'm just gonna do one shooter. Because now if they want to win, no, pop for 2, then they lose their Winter Orb. Obviously, they're gonna wait until my turn to do that, and they're not gonna do it on their turn. But Tinker. Okay. I kinda wish I had my Pyroblast up, but you know, it was either deal damage or well, I do get on top of my stuff though. I mean, I guess I can hang a wire, but then it doesn't seem great. Oh, Masticore. Oof. Okay. Masticore is a problem. Hmm. Well, I'm gonna attack and see what they do. Okay. They're not gonna block, right? All right. Oh, hold on a second. Did I play the Muscle Sliver? No, probably not. It started Phyrexian Devour. 4 mana. Huh. Smokes that. All right. Okay. So let's do Incinerate. It's a little worse because that one prevents them from um regenerating the thing, but um if I want to kill this, I have to kick it. Or I can swing for 4. Excuse me. Swing for 4. What do I want to do here? I mean, to kill Masticore, I have to kick it, right? Okay, I think this is the part of the game that I have to think real hard because uh, this might be the match here. All right, so if I swing for 4 plus Bolt plus I'm at 3 life, 3? No, 4, 7. Yeah, plus I'm at 3. If I cast a Muscle Sliver, that's 2, put them at 8. I can Bolt them, put them at 5. Uh, I think I can't afford to lose a permanent next turn. Unless I play a creature, and a different story. All right, so I'm gonna tap for green. I'm gonna sack that, and I'm gonna turn this into a creature. Right, 2, 4, 4. I'm gonna go to 5, and I think my plan here is to just hold them end of turn. Well, if they tap the ancient tomb, then I think I just win. Well, not just win because I'm sure they have a Hydroblast or something here, but all right. Angle wide. Okay, so all right. So as long as the last card in their hand is not a Hydroblast, what is that? GG's. Okay. Cool. That was a I I love playing this deck. Maybe not this version exactly, but I love some Tinker Welder. That was like the first deck I built in paper. That was like a little bit more competitive. The first one was Mud, but Tinker Welder was like the more competitive deck I built. So yeah, I think opponent played well. They're just like I said, the mana base in that deck is a little painful sometimes. Especially if you have to tap the blue red pain land. Those points of damage plus the ancient tombs add up, and then you're playing against an aggressive deck by aggressive anything that has creatures and lightning bolts. It can play out like the way it did. All right, so that was round 4. I'll see you guys here for round 5. All right, so here for round 5. I feel like I play against opponent every league that I play on Magic Online. And I don't remember what they play. Or if they... I don't think they play the same deck all the time, but... I think I'm going to keep this one because I'm going to play... definitely need to draw at least one more land to make this thing work, but... I think it's fine. I like having... Well, I like having the burn spells, but 2 lands is kind of... be a little rough. Say rough? No, rough. I really feel like with this decks, you want to like double spell to be able to get ahead, and this hand currently can't do that. Oh, hold on a second. I think my Discord's making too much noise. Oh, we're playing against... Oh, maybe it's Dreadnought. Daze it. All right, land. But it's not bad. Because worst case scenario, I can attack for 3 next turn. And I still have a bolt or incinerate if I want. No, well, I have a bolt, not incinerate. They stuck on 1 land. Oh, they found a second. Darn it. So what I can do here... well, that's very good. Okay, so this... I guess I just do this right now. I'm swinging for what? 8? I mean, put them at 8. Um, That's 5. All right, so I'm gonna try to bolt them first. I believe they have to have 2. Can pay for a days. Sweet. That was Exexis. All right. So I don't think I want this guy again. I think Sylvan Library is also super slow. Versus scroll doesn't kill anything. What I want? I want Naturalize. I want things that kill artifacts. Yeah, I probably want the Pyroblast. that all I want. Yeah, I mean, Sylvan Library. Yeah, no, I think I wanted the burn spell instead of Sylvan Library. I could cut 2 Incinerate and keep the 2 Sylvan Libraries, but I think that was fine. Um, and Stifle. I never know if this is like the correct way to do, because I don't think Stifle is like a card they should. I mean, maybe it works if they have 2. Yeah. Yeah, that kind of worked out for your opponents. All right, so Incinerate's going to be the card I'm probably going to discard here. Oh, gosh. So they have Dreadnought, Stifle, mana up. Not looking good for me. I'm going to play this little Metallic Sliver, but I need to draw a mountain. And they definitely have counter spell, so I think we'll be going to game 3 real quick here. Yeah. All right. They got me with the Stifles. They played the tempo game. I'm gonna chip it back like this. I think I need to mulligan this one. This doesn't beat like a fast um one of their fast hands. Um all right, let's not get got by Stifle again. Now, this could go terrible if they counter my Muscle Sliver. But I feel like I want to have mana up on their turn, so it's easier for me to just cast a 1 mana Rancor and hold up red mana and represent Pyroblast or something than keep casting Muscle Slivers. And I think it just deals more damage too anyways. So like next turn I could play a Rancor and still try to naturalize something. All right, so I need to draw something that can help me resolve this naturalize, right? That kind of does that. So blocking doesn't do anything, right? I mean, yes. Yeah, it doesn't matter because if they counter this, the game's over anyways. Oh, I mean, they found something. Okay. All right. I don't. All right. So, well played, opponent. Think I think I had like enough ways to combat. Just didn't draw the cards, and no, just one Naturalize against a deck that's very good at fun counter magic. And also definitely the stifles worked out in game two. But yeah, that was round 5. Currently, what, 3-2? All right, so play the last round, and yeah, so far it's been a lot of fun playing like a red green aggro deck, like with a sliver flavor, I guess. All right, see you for the last round. All right, so we're back here for the 6th and final round. Yeah, this is not very good. Oh, the usual hello, good luck, have fun. Mulligan, this one, guess. I think I'll keep this one. You know what? I'm gonna try to play a Nago deck here now. And so if we curve out well, this should be kind of fun. Why is Magic Online not understanding? Okay, let's cancel. All right, this is annoying. I can't really attack now. I think these decks have like a ton of removal, though. That's the problem. But it looks like Ponzo. Card is sweet too. Better than Brawlers. Card that I remember seeing as a kid, and I don't think I've ever seen play. And turns out it's playable. I mean, I'm walking to an Incinerate here or something, but I gotta start pushing damage, so. Yeah, so they take 5. That's gonna be kind of hard for me to get through now. They're gonna attack. All right. So now I just have to chill. Probably gonna match up. I do want to draw my Sylvan Library. Don't know if they're still running things like Powder Keg, but I could swing for 8. Oof, a lot of damage. Yeah, I think we're just done here. Yeah, those decks have a lot of removal, like, and it's kind of hard for me to get through, but we'll see. Maybe we can quick buy some damage with Lightning Bolt or Incinerate. I think the hand I had was probably as fast as I can go. It was like Metallic Sliver into Muscle Sliver into Spined Sliver. I think that's what I. Well, I did lose my land before I got to cast Blade Sliver, but it brings up like a good point. Maybe Blade Sliver. No, I think I'm beyond the play. I can still guess this. I think like maybe instead of Curse Scroll, I can just have some overloads. No, I think it's fine. I'm just gonna, if they have Powder Keg, I think it's set to kind of ignore or just try to play around as well as it can. All right, I'm gonna keep this one. Black Vice. I can only get a mountain with this, right? I think I'm gonna play the Muscle Sliver. Is it they play Mog Fanatic? I'd like for them to have to use 2 cards. Like if I just play Heart Sliver, they just kill it. Yeah, I'm asking for 2. And I'm gonna play this bootleg burn deck. If I draw lands for the next 5 turns, it'd be okay. Especially if they keep tapping this thing. Kind of goes back to the other rounds point. I can guess something or Rashad Port. That is something that my opponent have to decide. I mean, this is like my favorite art to play in Legacy with mountains. Also, I really like them in paper because the beta ones are very. I mean, I guess alpha too. I don't know if I own any alpha mountains of this type, but the beta ones that I have, they look real dark. It just looks really good in paper. But for pre-modern, I'm more of a fan of like playing with pre-modern era lands. So I'm gonna try to bolt them. Don't take any damage. I will bolt them again. All right, just need to draw a forest. And I think I'll be pretty close to be able to do something. Or maybe not. I think that missing a land there might have sealed it. Tango Wire. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they're gonna have a lot of lands to untap. All right, so I definitely need to draw a land. Not a land. All right. I mean, there are 8. I have an incinerating hand. I feel like saying I have to draw land has happened quite a few times. Oh, I'm playing 22. Yeah, which is a good number for an aggro deck. Brawlers, okay. I do take one here from Black Vice. And tap 3. If I draw a land, I think I just play the Sliver then. Oh, it's a red source though. Alright, and I'm just gonna play this guy. Because next time I have to tap 2 permanents. I only have 3 cards in hand. All right. I have 2 things. No, I'm just gonna burn them. Oop. If instead of Sylvan Library, if I had the overload, would have it changed anything? I mean, I guess I could have killed the thing wire, but I don't know if I had a window to do that. All right, this is what needs to happen. I need to tap out. Now reshot and port me. Oh, it's another thing wire. Then I think the game is over. This is the I'm for 4. I guess again if I just draw lands the next 2 turns, but I don't have 2 turns. Never mind. Actually, that's not a possibility. I guess if I draw 1 land, then at least I don't take damage from Black Vice. All right. Okay, for some reason my opponent taps their Ancient Tomb. That is not for a spell that deals damage or destroy my lands. Then I have a chance, I guess. Because I have to tap 3 things next turn. I'm gonna take 4. Tap Ancient Tomb. Oh, it's gonna bolt me. All right, cool. So 3 and 3 of this deck. That was pretty fun. And just kind of like recapping the intro, I think that Sliver is like in the traditional way that we used to see, like 5 color, like Crystalline Sliver. Can't remember the name of the 1 drop Sliver that he was flying. I think that deck is okay for a casual deck. Which again, I think Premodern is all about like play whatever makes you happy, but I think it is a little hard to make it work because comparing to older formats like extended or even like 2009 2010 era legacy, you get things like Ethervile and Standstill that you could pair up with Ethervile. We don't have that in Premodern, and I think trying to cast a bunch of 2 drops that don't have like a high impact in the game, it's just not great. So when I saw this list here, I thought it made more sense, right? Because you're playing an aggro deck basically, so you're not really trying to go wide or so playing 1-2 drops that attack for a good chunk. It still works. And we've seen Spined Sliver being played before in green red aggro decks. It is like a good 2 drop in this format. But usually we see Spined Sliver paired up with things like Green Lavamancer and Jackal Pup. Since we're playing Slivers, instead of Jackal Pup, we have Metallic Sliver, which obviously is not the same power level, but it does have synergy with the other Slivers that we have in the deck. So But yeah, other than that, I was just thinking that like no, Blade Sliver is okay. Actually, since we're looking at no post league thoughts, because I was looking at the ones that were legal in Premodern and in this color combination, and because a couple of times I wanted the one that gives trample, which is another 3-drop. Oops, sorry, another 3-drop sliver. I can't remember their names. Like, actually, I think the only one I know the name by off the top of my head is Crystalline Sliver. I don't know the other ones. It's the Horn Sliver, right? So it is so this one's got a few things that are cool. One is like no, it costs 2. It's a 2/2 instead of 1/1. I believe the one we're playing. Oh, it's also 2/2. Sorry, it's a 2/2. And there were a couple of times on one of my slivers who have trample, but most likely that the +1 on the attack is more important than the trample. But there was a few times. So if a slivers had a card that like Goblin Matron or something like that, then well, but then it will be a whole different deck. This could be a consideration. The ones that have provoke also was like kinda. This one obviously costs too much mana, 4 mana for a very low impact. Wing Sliver. Okay, that's the one I was trying to remember the name. But yeah, looking at what we have available, I think that's probably the best configuration for this style of deck. Unless you just want to go 5 color, then you can just, play all the slivers, including Sliver Queen and Sliver Overlord if you want. Looking at also the sideboarding, I think it was pretty well designed. I think the only thing maybe you can change is like have a Phyrexian Furnace. You can, instead of Phyrexian Furnace, you can run Tormod's Crypt. I think I talked a little bit about that during the match against Replenish. There's pros and cons, of course. Phyrexian Furnace, like I said, it's usually not a dead card because at least you can cycle and really becomes like there's no card disadvantage, right? I think that's what I'm trying to say. But it's slower, and when you're playing against a deck that's running cards like Terravor or Replenish, sometimes you want to nuke the whole graveyard instead of just one card. Decks that run Survival of the Fittest, sometimes Phyrexian Furnace can be hard to keep up with what they're doing. Yes, you get to exile the first squee, but they can still play Genesis and Anger. And if the Phyrexian Furnace is gone, then no, you just don't have a way to do it. But I guess in this case, Tormod's Crypt is in a similar way too. Maybe in that case, all right, bad example. Maybe in that case, Phyrexian Furnace is better because then you can just keep chipping away the graveyard. But again, against Tormod's Crypt or also Druid's deck, maybe you just want to have Tormod's Crypt that can nuke the whole graveyard. But again, this is very situational and depends on the context. And what else? Yeah, I think the deck's sweet. Very well built. I mean, there were a few spots that maybe 22 lands felt like too little. But I really wouldn't know what if I was gonna add more lands. I mean, I'm looking at Curse of Scroll and like maybe 2 copies of Incinerate, but Incinerate and Lightning Bolt definitely gave me like a lot of reach. Some of those games that you get a little bit of chip damage in the morning, early in the game, and then later you can just finish your opponent off like with the Lightning Bolts and Incinerates. But really cool. Really enjoyed playing this league. It was definitely different from playing some combo. This time I had to do combat math and that kind of stuff. And again, if you like Legacy, if you like Premodern, hit the follow button, hit the like button. Don't forget to check out the podcast that me and Curran we've been recording on Sundays every 2 weeks actually. I think we've been being pretty steady with the scheduling. It's usually like an hour and some change, like of us just doing this shit and talk about Premodern. And also, if you like Legacy, I host a podcast with Mike and Jared every Friday. It's called Legacy Small Talk. We actually just launched our Discord server. We had some listeners that were asking about it. We never thought that there was a need for a Discord server for our podcast. We didn't think that would be enough people that wanted to join a Discord, but apparently there was some demand. So we just recently launched the Discord, and it's the link is in the last episode's show notes. It's also my Blue Sky. So yeah, if you like Legacy, go check it out. Go listen to the podcast. Go join the Discord, and we'll be doing giveaways. Also, like just a better way for us to interact with the listeners. Like, if they want to hear something on the podcast, if they want to come on the show, or if something that we said that was outlandish, they can give feedback in the Discord if you feel like saying things in private. Yeah, with that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.